who doesn't love a battle in the AFC North on a cold, rainy Thursday night? Yeah, I know I do. And even if you don't, it doesn't matter because we got bets, we got picks, sides, touchdown props, and of course the Bet365 promo. We're going to hammer them until there's nothing left. Sit back, let's make it happen. Hey, Dave Loughy here on Twitter at Loughy_D. As always, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below as well. Let me know, where are your favorite plays tonight? It's a weird game. AFC North battles are always tricky, but we're going to have some fun with it. And also, we're going to do everything we can once again to beat up Bet365 so long as they continue offering this promo on Thursday Night Football. And if you're not there yet, if you're in any of those states on the screen, turn $5 into 150 in bonus bets instantly as soon as your first bet settles. Just use the link in the description or the pinned comment. Here's all you do. Click that. Take a minute to get set up. Instantly verify yourself. Deposit 10, bet only 5. The moment that settles, even if it's the first drive of the game, you want to bet it to be a field goal. Doesn't matter, win or lose, 150 in bonus bets. And also, when we place a parlay tonight, we're getting $5 in bonus bets per every single touchdown scored. Even if it's a low-scoring game, it's still always going to be a plus EV spot. When we're getting back bets, we're getting back pieces of our own wagers every single time a touchdown is scored. We have destroyed Bet365 on this all season long. We'll look to do it again tonight, even in a low-scoring game. Link in the description and in the pinned comment. Let's get in on the parlay. I'll hit it later. And, of course, your 150 in bonus bets, 25 years or older to gamble. Gambling, 21 years or older. Gambling problem, call your text 100-GAMBLE. Let's make it happen. Steelers laying 3.5 on the road against the Browns, 37.5-point total. I opened Tuesday's video, the picks for every game with this game, as I always do. Open it with the Thursday. It was 4.5. Now it's 3.5. Across the board, with a couple notable books actually shading this line, shading the odds towards the Brown side of this line. Common sense would say take the Steelers. I get it. More complete team. But common sense isn't all that common in the NFL, especially with home divisional dogs in the AFC North like the Browns are tonight. Or how the Steelers were at 3.5-point dogs against the Ravens last week. We bet the Steelers for a very similar reason in that spot. They won outright. But look, both the Browns and Steelers have excellent pass defenses. Excellent pass rushes. We'll get to the pass defense in a second. Both of them can stop the run. Cleveland's biggest defensive weakness this season has been in the secondary, but at the very least, they're healthy. And let's be honest here. They've been much better at home. This is a defense that not just this year, but for many years has been much better at home. And the Steelers don't have a ton of weaknesses, but they haven't been great at pass blocking. Neither of the Browns, but they also had a totally skeleton crew makeshift offensive line through the first 2 months of the season. It's better than it was. It's definitely better than it was. I'm never sold on Pittsburgh's run game in these difficult matchups. And I know you're going to say yeah, but what about Taysom Hill last week? I get that. Obviously, he's a very different style of player than what you would see with traditional running backs like a Najee Harris, even a Jaylen Warren. It's a unique situation, but I'm not going to discount the fact that, the Browns game has been gutted at times on the ground, the Browns run game. I'll say this much, though. At home, they're allowing less than 100 rushing yards per game. On the road, 165 rushing yards per game. Night and day type of stuff. Oh, and so I have zero faith in Nick Chubb and the Browns rushing game either, with that surgically repaired knee for the second or third time. Trust me, I get it. But I think Cleveland can hang tonight. It's prime time. We're still getting them outside of a field goal. Also, close to freezing temperatures in Cleveland. Definite rain, 95% chance of rain with potential snow. This could play into the hand of just a low-scoring game that comes down to the final possession. This is, of course, as long as Jameis Winston doesn't turn into an interception machine. If he does, all bets are off. But I like under 37.5 a little bit on FanDuel as well. It's a key number if you're betting NFL totals, and we're getting it with the hook there on FanDuel at 37.5. Let's talk some props here. Jerome Ford, over 14.5 rushing yards, minus 113 on FanDuel. And as always, guys, you ever want to join me in tails? I throw a lot more props in throughout the day over in the Discord, in the premium Discord. And if you download the OddsShopper app, you're getting them straight to your phone on push notifications. NFL 24 is the promo. It'll get you 50% off your first week or month. Less than $5 a week, $15 a month. You hate it, you can bounce. You go, hey, I've spent money on worse, haven't I? Anyway, link to that in the description and in chat. Come join us for what's already been a pretty awesome season. Anyway, Jerome Ford over 14.5 rushing yards on FanDuel specifically. Everywhere else, it's 15.5. Ford saw 5 carries last week to Chubb's 11, but they played from behind for the majority of that game, which is also why Ford outsnapped Chubb 41-22. Chubb has not been effective since returning from that devastating knee injury that he coincidentally suffered against the Steelers last year in another primetime game. And you can't blame him either, but you have to start thinking Ford gets more involved. Mind you, he had a hamstring injury. He missed a little bit of time. Comes back for one game, they have the bye, comes back another game and is more involved, but didn't get a ton on the ground because they were playing from behind. But this isn't just because Chubb's been inefficient. It's also, the game has a 37.5 point total, 3.5 point spread. It's going to be cold and rainy, like I said. Does this just play more to a low-scoring, close divisional game where the Browns look to run it? And their offensive line, as I mentioned, is healthier than it's been all season. If it doesn't get out of control early, let's hope it doesn't, I think Ford sees enough work on the ground to pick up 15 ugly rushing yards, and that's all we need in this spot. All right, we got to go touchdown. Then we'll do our Bet365 parlay. Let's go George Pickens plus 220. Why? Because tradition would dictate that on Thursday night videos that I do every single week of the season, I have to give out a touchdown pick. And I'll bet on it as well. I'll bet it as well, because why not? Even if this should be an ugly, low-scoring game, we like our touchdowns. We like to have fun. Plus, it'll keep your account in good health if you don't want to get limited. And since Pickens is one of the best, most underrated and unheralded receivers in the game, you can come at me in the comments for this one, fellas. I don't care. I will die on this hill. This dude's fantastic. We're going to grab him at plus 220. Why? Because he's a freak of nature. Insane catch radius. And even with good coverage, this guy can make opposing defenders look bad with just straight circus-level, mind-bending catches. He's been Wilson's favorite red zone target in 4 games since he took over for Justin Fields, favorite target overall. And of the 14 touchdowns the Browns have allowed through the air this year, well, 12 of them have been the receivers, only 2 to tight ends and none to running backs. So let's have some fun. We'll sprinkle on that. And for the brand, because if Darnell Washington didn't step out of bounds, he might have rumbled into the end zone when we bet him at this same number a few weeks ago against the Giants. Can we go 10-1 plus 1,000 Darnell Washington on FanDuel to have some fun on a Thursday night? He's only running like 14 routes per game since Wilson took over, but he's been targeted on 26% of routes. He's a behemoth man out there. They might just toss one up to this guy in the end zone and see what he can do. This is a fun one for Thursday Night Football. Plus 1,000 on FanDuel. Sprinkle a little bit and let's celebrate when it hits with the long shot. All right, let's close it out with the Bet365 promo. Like I said, if you wanted to get in on this, get these bonus bets and the 150 in bonus bets when you talk about every touchdown scored today. Here's what we're going to do. Since it's a low-scoring game, the minimum odds on this to get credited are even money, right? Plus 100. So what I want to do is I want to keep it as close to that as possible. We don't want to do anything crazy because in all likelihood, there won't be a ton of touchdowns. If you get 3 or 4 touchdowns, we'll be okay. Either way, Browns plus 10.5. Give me under 51.5. That 51's a key number betting totals as well. And George Pickens 4+ receptions. Okay. So Browns outside of that 10 key number, under 51.5, key number at 51, and Pickens 4+ receptions. He has a 28% target share since Wilson took over. He's targeted on 25% of the routes that he has run. And he has 4+ receptions in all 4 games with Wilson at the helm. We get it to plus 110. Let's have a fun night on Thursday, and I'll see you guys back here next week. Until then, check out my picks for every game video. I released it on Tuesday, and everything else here on the Odd Shopper channel. Hit that thumbs up before you go, and we'll see you back here soon. Peace.